Welcome to another quarterly portfolio update. If you are stopping by for the first time, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. In this video, I will share with you how much I invested in my taxable account during the fourth quarter of 2024, how many shares I bought, and the value of my portfolio at the end of the quarter, which was December the 31st. I will also show you how much dividend I received for the quarter and for the entire year of 2024. But as always, before I continue, a quick disclaimer. The information that I'm sharing is not financial advice. Before you invest in anything, please do your own research and make sure that you only invest in things that you understand. With that being said, I will dive right into my quarterly portfolio update. I will start with a quick recap of my Q3 2024 portfolio to show you the value of the portfolio and how many shares I had before the beginning of Q4 2024. The total value of my portfolio at the end of Q3 2024 was $74,225.71. $74,069.44 was the market value of my investments, and $156.27 was a cash amount. At the end of Q3 2024, the total profit of my portfolio was $19,047.66. This was plus 34.62%. These are my holdings: 2 Vanguard ETFs and 2 BlackRock ETFs. VCN is a Vanguard ETF that tracks the Canadian market. I had 102 shares of VCN at the end of Q3 2024. VFV is a Vanguard ETF that tracks the S&P 500 index. This is the Canadian version of a VOO. I had 280 shares of VFV at the end of Q3 2024. XEQT is a BlackRock ETF. This is an all-in-one equity ETF which holds Canadian equities, US equities, developed market equities outside of North America, and emerging market equities. If you want to hold a single equity ETF which is globally diversified, you might consider looking into XEQT or its Vanguard equivalent, VEQT. I had 474 shares of XEQT at the end of Q3 2024. XUU is a BlackRock ETF that tracks the US total stock market, and I had 262 shares of XUU at the end of Q3 2024. I will now show you how much I invested during the fourth quarter of 2024 and how many shares I bought. I bought 2 shares of VCN. The cost per share was $49.87. The total cost, $99.74. This is 4% of the amount that I invested in Q4. I bought 8 shares of VFV. The cost per share was $147.35. The total cost, $1,178.77. This is 42% of the amount that I invested in Q4. I bought 26 shares of XEQT. The cost per share was $33.75. The total cost, $877.47. This is 32% of the amount that I invested in Q4. I bought 10 shares of XUU. The cost per share was $62.50. The total cost, $625.04. This is 22% of the amount that I invested in Q4. In total, I bought 46 shares, all the ETFs combined, and the amount that I invested in Q4 was $2,781.02. This is $359.46 more than the amount that I invested in Q3. As you can see, in Q3, I invested $2,421.56, and in Q4, $2,781.02. The difference is a plus of $359.46. The total equity of my portfolio at the end of Q4 2024 was $82,256.36. $82,252.08 was the market value of my investments, and $4.28 was the cash amount. The total profit on my portfolio at the end of Q4 was $24,448.87. This was a plus of 42.30%. At the end of Q4 2024, which was December the 31st, I had 104 shares of VCN. This was 6.39% of the market value of my portfolio. 288 shares of VFV. This was 52.52% of the market value of my portfolio. 500 shares of XEQT. This was 20.47% of the market value of my portfolio. And 272 shares of XUU. This was 20.62% of the market value of my portfolio. Alright, I will now show you how much dividend I received for the quarter. To receive an upcoming dividend payment, you have to be the shareholder on the record date. I had 104 shares of VCN on the record date. The dividend amount per share was 39 cents. The dividend amount that I received for VCN was $40.68. This is 12% of the dividend amount that I received in Q4. I had 286 shares of VFV on the record date. The dividend amount per share was 40 cents. The dividend amount that I received for VFV was $114.47. This is 33% of the dividend amount that I received in Q4. I had 500 shares of XEQT on the record date. The dividend amount per share was 28 cents. The dividend amount that I received for XEQT was $147.68. This is 39% of the dividend amount that I received in Q4. I had 272 shares of XUU on the record date. The dividend amount per share was 21 cents. The dividend amount that I received for XUU was $57.77. And this is 16% of the dividend amount that I received in Q4. The total amount of dividend that I received in Q4 2024 was $350.53. This is $133.86 more than the amount that I received in Q3. As you can see, in Q3 2024, I received $216.67, and in Q4, $350.53. The difference is $133.86. All the ETFs paid a higher dividend amount per share in Q4 than they did in Q3. You can see on this dividend payout chart that XEQT paid almost 28 cents per share in Q4 versus 9 cents per share in Q3. This is an increase of 192.79%. I already mentioned in one of my previous videos that XEQT pays a high dividend amount per share in Q2 and Q4 than it does in Q1 and Q3. So I expect to receive a lower dividend amount per share for XEQT in Q1 2025, which will be at the end of March. As for XUU, it paid 21 cents per share in Q4 versus 16 cents per share in Q3. This is an increase of 30.31%. You can also see that VCN paid 39 cents per share in Q4 versus 30 cents per share in Q3. This is an increase of 30.16%. VFV paid 40 cents per share in Q4 versus 36 cents per share in Q3. This is an increase of 12.15%. The total amount of dividend that I received for the entire year of 2024 was $1,032.22. This is $238.06 more than the amount that I received in 2023. You can see in 2023 that I received $794.16, and in 2024, $1,032.22. The difference is plus $238.06. In terms of dividend, my goal for 2024 was to reach 1,000, which I did and even exceeded a bit by $32.22. For 2025, my goal is to reach 1,300. The ETFs that I hold are not dividend-oriented. They are growth-oriented, but they pay quarterly dividend. And since I'm on my wealth building phase, I reinvest all the dividend that I receive. Dividend reinvesting allows to buy more shares that in turn will pay dividend. This plus the shares price appreciation will boost your overall portfolio return and speed up your path to wealth. Here is an example to illustrate the power of dividend reinvesting. A 100,000 investment made in 1990 in the fund tracking the S&P 500 index would have been worth more than 2.1 million by the end of 2022 had the dividends been reinvested. But only 1.1 million had the dividends not been reinvested. The difference between the two ending amounts is over 1 million, which is really a substantial amount. This shows the power of dividend reinvesting in building wealth through the stock market. I will share my Q1 2025 dividend update in 3 months. In the meantime, I will stay the course and keep investing consistently. Alright, feel free to leave a comment below. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time with another update. Peace out.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire.